I didn't want to just come on here and, talk about the fact that I've let go of some agreements. I'm trying to change my life. I'm trying to own my truth. I also wanted to give some tips on how to go about doing that. So I wrote down 3 tips that helped me get to where I am, and I'm continually trying every single day, and I'm actively using these tips, but I thought I'd just share with you guys, so maybe it will help somebody else who wants to kind of own their truth. So the first thing that you just gotta do, and you won't even be able to be successful if you don't do this, is to change your agreements. And so by this, I just mean those things. You have to, first of all, determine what are those things that you were taught or you believed when you weren't aware that you believed them, and you have to change them. So for example, if you always thought that you were unintelligent, well, you're gonna have to start saying, I am intelligent. And you're going to have to actively make yourself believe that is the truth. And that's probably one of the hardest parts and takes the longest, but if you don't change your agreements, you will not be able to really live your best life or be your true self. And to help with that, I definitely think you guys should read the 4 agreements, because it gets obviously super in-depth about how to change your agreements and what, I gave you a really bad example of an agreement, but what are some of the common agreements that we have and how we can change them. Okay, so number 2, kill your ego. So essentially when I'm talking about these agreements and how we've kind of accepted things that people or environment has ingrained in us, the ego is essentially that part, that person, or that idea that has accepted those thoughts and those feelings. So I read something online where someone said, ego means a second-hand life. So I think that's a good way to summarize it. It's the things that you were just told and just taught, like, okay, you're smart. You were told that your whole life, so you just think you're smart or what have you. Not saying that it's not that black and white, nothing is ever that black and white, but that's the ego. That's the part of you that has taken in what others have said or done to you and made it a part of who you are. So once you destroy your ego, that's like a large part of being who you truly are. You're no longer affected by what other people think of you or what other people say to you, and you don't just take it and say, okay, well, that's who I am. No, you already know who you are, so you don't need that validation. You don't need that information or opinion from other people. And number 3, which I think for me is the most important, is letting go of the narrative. So I was listening to Headspace a while ago, and I think I mentioned this at some point in one of my videos, but with a quote at the end of the Headspace, if you guys aren't familiar, Headspace is a meditation app, and at the end of a session, it will have like a little quote, and one of the quotes was something along the lines of, you have to let go of the narrative. So this is something that has really, truly helped me, like, constantly in my life, like, even up to this day, and continues to help me. Essentially, it's changing the storyline. So something that you believe, you might assume something, you might think something, but it's not necessarily, that's not how it has to be, and that's not what you have to think of it. So you can change that. That was really mind-blowing for me as a concept. Like, wait, this isn't just what it is. Like, I can determine how I feel about that or what I think about that. It's just not, it is what it is. Like, that's not how it goes. So oftentimes we place value where there isn't. We think or assume people said or did something for XYZ reason, and that's a narrative. That's creating a narrative. Or somebody will, present something to us and we will assume that narrative as to be true, which isn't the case. So once you go into situation and you're like, I have control of this narrative, I can change the storyline, it changes your life essentially, because you are no longer just taking what is given to you, or you're not placing value where value does not need to be placed. And this has helped me so much, because every single day, at some point in the day, I say, change the narrative. Remember, you have control of the narrative. You can change the storyline. And like when I go into meetings, a meeting that I know is going to be like nerve-wracking for me, I will say in my head, I'll repeat in my head over and over again before going into it. So I'm about to send a text message, or I'm waiting on a text message, or I read like a message from somebody and I start to think all these different thoughts of what they're feeling, what they're thinking. I'd be like, change the narrative, let go of that narrative. Literally, I say this to myself, and it has helped me tremendously. Tremendously. I don't know why I said it like that. So yeah, just like with everything that I've mentioned in this entire video, these are active behaviors and thoughts that you will have to work on. It's not just a thing that you talk about or you think about once or twice and then you just, oh, everything's great. It's almost like a practice makes perfect type of scenario. And I don't mean literally perfect, but it will get you to a place where you're comfortable. And I think it just, every single day, you've got to either like write these things down or you have to like remind them or repeat them in your head, or get a mantra going, or sticky notes, or what have you. It's an active choice that you have to make, and that's the only way you'll be able to change your life and put these things into practice. So that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm trying to get to 800 subscribers by the end of this month. It's August, and I think I can do it. So anyway, thank you guys so much.